Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Stella Escobedo. Following the bombardment of attacks on Israel over the weekend, world leaders are now urging against an Israeli retaliation. For the very latest on the developments in the Middle East, let's go live now to One America's chief White House correspondent, Monica Paige. Monica, good to see you. How is the U.S. working to ease any further escalation?
Hey, Stella. Well, reports suggest there have been tense, closed-door conversations since the attack this past weekend, as old red lines have been crossed, setting a new equation after the Iranian regime waged war on Israel. In the wake of the bombardment, world leaders are now urging Israel to not retaliate after reports suggest that Israel has been weighing a decision on just how to respond. Now, I want to bring in Middle East expert and editor-in-chief at the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari, for her insight on this. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us here. Just to jump in here, world leaders like those from the UK and France, they're urging restraint here. The Israeli defense minister told Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin this afternoon that Israel has no choice but to respond, but it will be reportedly imminent. And the White House this afternoon just said it will let Israel decide just how it wants to retaliate. So I'm asking you, how should Israel respond to the hundreds of attacks it saw this past weekend that would effectively send a message?
Right. So Israel is in a position where it must respond. And the international community asking Israel to show restraint is asking Israel to be punished for having the technological advances to ward off these types of threats, where the international community is not asking, why does Israel need 3 layers of protection? Because there are existential threats daily for Israel. Now, the timing and the exact nature of the response is yet to be determined. But of course, for those of us who have been following this for many years, this is an opportune moment for Israel to set back the Islamic Republic's nuclear programs. They have a high-level intel on their military apparatuses, on their nuclear sites, etc. And this would be the proper moment to make use of that intel that they have been following for many years.
And Lisa, when you have a president like Joe Biden, who experts say has not shown much strength on the world stage, how can the United States reassure that it can protect Israel's security?
Right. And that has been what has been really frustrating about the last 48 hours is to watch our ally, the only democratic state in the Middle East, Israel, be under fire from the Islamic Republic and have this kind of wishy-washy, well, yes, we will defend you and we will stand by you, but we will not participate. Look, nobody wants to get involved in an escalated war. In this case, Israel doesn't want to get an escalated war. The United States, of course, doesn't want to be dragged into a war. And I reassure you that the Islamic Republic does not want a war. So at this point, it will be up to Israel as to how to respond, not having their war, not having their response micromanaged by the White House. They are not waiting for Joe Biden to tell them what to do. And of course, again, the optics of not standing by our ally will far outlast the tenure of Biden or Bibi or anyone else. So I think that it's very important that our foreign policy be reliable and consistent, and our allies and our enemies need to know where they stand. And that message has to come from the White House.
Yeah, consistent is definitely a key word and what this administration really needs to be in order to counter terrorism here. And it appears like this shadow war between Iran and Israel has been brought to light now. And many experts say this confrontation wasn't really a matter of if, it was just a matter of when. And the Iranian regime found that now was the right time to carry out these attacks. So based on that, would you say this marks a new paradigm in the Middle East? And do you see this changing the dynamic moving forward here?
It could, but I think the key word here is deterrence. And that deterrence, again, has to come, A, from Israel in responding to this attack, and B, from the United States and the West in general, to say that enough is enough. Something that's very optimistic about this moment is watching moderate Arab states like Jordan and Saudi Arabia stand behind Israel, not because they have fallen in love with Israel overnight, but because they want to stop the Islamic Republic. And that's something that was underscored in the Abraham Accords, to watch moderate Arab states want to have a future of prosperity. And that means teaming up with Israel and stopping the advances of the Islamic Republic. And I think right now is an opportune moment to really not allow the Islamic Republic to think that they can continue, for them to know that there are consequences to their actions and to stop them in their tracks.
And Lisa, just this afternoon, I want to get your thoughts on this. The Iranian foreign minister warned that if Israel launches a counterattack, the regime's next response will be, quote, immediate, stronger, and more extensive. So based on your experience, do you see this potentially growing into a more dangerous situation? Like, what happens next here?
Yeah, of course, the threat of that is always on the table. But I will tell you this. The Islamic Republic is egotistical, yes, but not suicidal. So the fact that they are flexing once again shows us that this is, the same as what they have done for 45 years. They will threaten to retaliate. But if you recall, hours after their initial attack, they went to the United Nations mission and said, no, we're done. There's no need for any more escalation. But then back at home, the Iranian media was reporting there will be yet another wave, or they put up a huge mural inside Iran that the next slap in the face will be much stronger. So Iran's regime has a few different audiences that they're trying to flex to. One is the people back in Iran. Of course, there's so much disenchantment. The opposition is so strong. They're not standing behind the Islamic Republic. As a matter of fact, I have interviewed so many people who are standing behind Israel on this one. Imagine, they are sick and tired. They're the main victims of this regime. So the government is definitely trying to flex to them. Number two, they're trying to flex to their proxies and saying, look, we're the godfather of terrorism. We're the ones supporting you. So watch us as we deliver a strong message to Israel and to the West in general. And of course, number three is to the big Satan and the little Satan. When the Ayatollah Khomeini came into power in 1979, he swore he would have two enemies that he would fight for the rest of time, and that is the big Satan, the United States, and the little Satan, which is Israel. So they're trying to deliver a message, yes, but not be dragged into a larger war.
Right, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. And many people are saying, it's time for Israel to just end this once and for all. Peace in the Middle East. We had peace through strength under President Trump. So we will definitely be keeping this very close to us as we continue watching these developments. Middle East expert and editor-in-chief at the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari, thank you so much for joining us here on One America News.
Thank you.